Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we are analyzing a game from the Armenian Chess Championship that is ongoing. Armenian Chess Championship is one of the national championships that is the strongest in the world. In this game we have Grandmaster Emin ohanyan, rated 2489, facing Grandmaster Tigran, a battle between two elite Armenian players. This game is very beautiful example of the deep strategies that can be employed in the Queen's Gambit. So without wasting much of the time, let's dive deep into the game. So we have d4 on the board, knight f6, c4, e6, knight f3, d5, knight c3, bishop e7. So at this point, we see that in the game bishop e7 was played, but another move that can be played is bishop b4. So after playing bishop b4, the strategy for white is trying to attack the bishop there, and then with queen a4. Queen a4, which will be met with knight c6. Then you play e3. After e3, black will castle and the game will continue like that. But in the game, bishop e7 was played. Then we see bishop f4, short castle, e3, knight b to d7 was played. Then c takes d5 was played. Knight takes d5, knight takes knight, and e takes d5. Bishop d3, c6. So again on this move, c6, so somehow like too slow for black. Yeah, although it was also good, but a direct c5 would have been more stronger and better. So after c5, we see that white would take d takes c5. Then the immediate queen a5 will arrive. Queen blocks, queen takes queen with a check, and the knight takes. And the game will continue like that. Knight takes c5. The bishop retreats to c2. So that was how the game was supposed to be played. But in the game they chose, GM Tigran chose c6. Alright. So we see short castle from white, rook e8, f5, h3 was played, then f5, a3, knight f8, rook b1, f4, bishop c2, queen f5, knight e5. That is the best outpost for the knight. Bishop e6. Then we have b4, challenging the queen. Ampersand was played. Rook took. Then f6, challenging the knight. Knight retreated. Then we have b5, a direct push, trying to expand on the queen side. That is a wonderful strategy. Then we have knight b4. The good part about these elite players, how they play chess, they play very strategically. So if you look, the knight came from here, it jumped here, now it has gone to b4. Trying to attack, if you take, I'll take. But in the game, rook e to c8 was played, trying to defend the undefended pawn. Queen f3, adding more pressure on the diagonal. Then queen d8, rook d1, queen d7 was played. Then rook c3, bishop takes b4, was played. A takes b4, bishop f5, bishop b3 was played, trying to avoid the exchange. At this point, bishop e6 was played again. Then we see rook d to c1, trying to put more pressure on the half open file, almost open file as I can see. Then we have rook a2, rook a6, queen g3, making a bishop queen battery. Then we see knight g6, bishop d6, rook e8, bishop c5, trying to catch everything. Knight e7. Then we see queen d6. What can you play as black? In the game, knight c8 was played, yeah, which was good, challenging the queen, but it would have been better trying to centralize it more by going with knight f5. After queen takes, you capture back, and the game will continue like that. But in the game, knight c8 was played. Then we see queen takes d7, bishop takes d7, f3 was played. Then bishop e6. So at this point, you can see that the game is balanced. Yeah. h4, kingside the expansion. h5, trying to stop the pawn from moving. The reason for playing h5, there was a threat of the immediate pawn push, but this move prevented that. So we see queen f2, king f7, trying to in the last phases of the game, or as I can say, the end game, the king is also the most important attacking weapon that you should not leave out. So as we can see, the GMs are trying to demonstrate that by centralizing their kings, bringing the kings to the central squares, these four squares. That's where they're trying to bring them. So king g3, rook d8, rook 1 to c2, knight d6, takes, recaptures, rook a2, asking for a trade, yeah, obliges, all right. Then g5, 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 bishop b1 was played in the game, king g7, then we see bishop d3, bishop f7, rook a3, rook e6, bishop challenges the rook, retreats backward. Then we see rook c8, rook c3, rook c3, attacking the pawn, the undefended pawn, but bishop e8 takes care of the issue, and we see e4. So if you have seen in this game, both black and white are playing accordingly, and we can see how dangerous the queen's gambit is. Slowly, white is collapsing the region for black, slowly, as we can see. So d takes e4 was played, f takes e4, bishop d7, takes, f takes g5, and then we have king f3. The key idea still remains trying to take the king to the central squares to support the pawns and for easy mobility. Bishop takes g5, f5, e takes f5, rook g7. Rook g7 seems as if black wanted to attack this pawn, but this was a tactical blunder, as we can see it. So instead of playing rook d7, the best move that black could have gone for was king f6. Solves everything, because if king f6 was played, the position was still playable. We see that the rook would take, the king would take. After that, there will be a check, retreats backward. After they capture, black rook e1 will be here. Then after that, white tries to go this side. Then this pawn push solves everything. After the king hides, this king should come here. This is the central key principle that was supposed to be followed in the game. After that, the checks will be the one following up, and you keep retreating, just like that. So that was how the game was supposed to be played. But in the game, GM Tigran, after the capture, played rook d7 and allowed GM Emin to take the pawn. Now it was different. Although you are going to capture this pawn, the check is coming. King h7 takes, trying to go closer to the rook. Rook gave a check. King h7 was played. Then g4. g4 was a brilliant and wonderful move. If this takes, the rook could take. Defending this plus the extra pawn, that would be an advantage, and you can't capture. Because if you capture, just capture. Come here and go after the pawn this side. That was the principle of this move. So in the game, the pawn was captured, but g5 came on the board, and the position was completely losing for black. So let's see how the game went on. Rook b1, king f4, h4. If you can push, I can also push. King e5. What? Most of you could say, why not giving a check? Yeah, a check is good, but we should not forget the key idea of bringing the king to the central squares. The central square, that is the winning principle that is trying to be demonstrated on this game. Yeah, the check would have been good. Grab this pawn and now play this. But in the game, the GM Emin thought that it would be wasting time doing that and played king a5. Rook c1. Rook gave a check. After that, takes h4. King g7. Rook h6. Rook e1 check. King d5. Rook d1 check. King c3. Going after the pawn. It's already too late. Alright. King g8. Then the pawn push. Trying to go after the pawn. You know the winning idea. Even your young brother can win this one. The threat is rook h8. After you move, then the queen will come on the board, and that would be a simple winning strategy. So yeah, this was the game that was played from round 1 of the Armenian Chess Championship. So some may say, what if you go here? Still, the idea is the same. After this, the rook is coming, and this queening pawn can't be avoided. So that was the game that I had for you for today. Yeah, so don't forget to subscribe so that immediately new games are posted, you are aware. Thank you.